the world's fastest bike from Sydney to Perth and back for a total of 12,000 kilometers. The Ninja H2 is the world's fastest mass production motorcycle. It is a dream for many to own and has already achieved legendary status at the highest echelons of the motorcycling world, despite being launched less than 10 years ago. I have had an amazing run with the Ninja H2 so far. That started in 2017 with me doing 20,000 kilometers around Australia with a Ducati Panigale. Then in 2020, I got a Ninja H2 in India and created many memories with it, including going around India with many other content creators, taking it to the desert in the summer heat, and also one of the best high-speed tracks in the world in the heart of India, Nat tracks. In 2024, the Nullarbor called me again. And this time, I paired the Ninja H2 with an Aprilia Tuono V4 1100 factory. You can see its review on my YouTube or Instagram.
So guys, I have been owning the Ninja H2, the fastest production motorcycle in the world, since 7 years now. Yes, I got this in 2017 here in Australia. This video is actually about my experience with the H2 because, you can't really review a motorcycle like this. It's unreviewable. You can only review the experience with it. I never imagined that I would not only own one H2, but I would also do so many trips and rides and insane stuff with the H2 that right now I'm here in the Australian outback talking to you with an H2 that's done close to 44,000 kilometers. This H2 is one of the most used H2s in the world. That is what I have heard. But for a fact, it's the most run H2 in Australia, at least that's what the dealers where we take this for service have been telling me. A machine as perfect as this, it's basically an engineering marvel, and we all know that the Kawasaki River Mark logo up front speaks volumes that Kawasaki was really serious about this when it first came out at EICMA. It actually blew me away because I was there, I saw it, and I said, what is this insane thing? Everyone went gaga over it, even without seeing the performance figures, and I was one of them. What is that I like about the H2? Well, it's the whole aura, and it is the fact that it's, of course, the fastest production motorcycle in the world. And I love the paint job. It's got 9 layers, it's got silver in it. It sounds amazing. Of course, with the supercharger whistle, the impeller going on at many times more than your crankshaft, giving it the boost that it needs to make it the fastest, accelerating the fastest motorcycle in the world. Already a legend. It's a living legend. It's basically the legend of my generation. And here's a road train for you. Yes, this is how the acceleration of the H2 feels.
Enough about the Ninja H2. This experiential review cannot be complete without the sights that we saw and lived with this phenomenal machine on this once-in-a-lifetime road trip for many. So here are my top 5 power movements with the Ninja H2 on this road trip. The Great Ocean Road at sunset was calm and beautiful. This is not my personal favorite as it is touristy and there are many more beautiful ocean roads in Australia than this. But it's worth a mention. Riding around Australia's highest mountain was, well, a high. Especially at sunset, Mount Kosciuszko National Park and Charlotte Pass were deserted and for us to enjoy. Riding to the ghost town of Dawson in Australia, where we rode over unpaved roads, saw many kangaroos, wild horses, and more. The town itself, with its eerie abandoned buildings, was worth the travel. Riding the Great Ocean Drive near the town of Elliston in the Eyre Peninsula. This is unpaved and a short ride, but the views are unparalleled. Coupled with the evocative sculptures all around, makes for an amazing experience. Doing the iron butt and watching the sunrise across Nullarbor. Truly a goosebumps moment.
Apart from this, I think the only motorcycle which has been able to reach such legendary status is the Suzuki Hayabusa. And then there is this. This almost feels like a two-stroke motorcycle, you know, still gives me the shudders. I'm still afraid of it. Whenever I accelerate it, I feel that this will go from underneath me. Despite the amazing bucket seat that they made, only single seater, but obviously they know that nobody's mad enough to sit behind. And they also couldn't have thought that nobody's mad enough to put bags on it, but we did. We mounted them on it. And this is the second time we're doing it around Australia. I am afraid to use the full power.
Especially this H2 that has been reflashed to produce 280 horsepower at the crank and almost 260 rear wheel horsepower. We want to take a moment to thank Acer for empowering us with the on-the-go power and portability in the form of Acer Predator and Acer Swift Go 14 AI laptops that we use to edit all our beautiful videos, reels and photos that you see. To prepare the bike, we use a custom mounting solution created in Sydney. Then we put the Rhinox Nomad saddlebags for upswept exhausts. Tank and tail bags were also from Rhinox.
They don't look 12,000 kilometers old. The chains and everything they have held up perfectly. We have been opening chains for God knows how many times to access cameras and stuff like that, you know. And yes, I'm telling you, Made in India stuff is going places, including our helmet over here, which is from Exor.
And we used bark busters to protect the levers and of course your standard suite of engine and fork guards. Auxiliary lights are also mounted on the front fenders with a solution from Path Pavers India and Baha Lights. Seats from Grand Pit Stop were also used to make it more comfortable for us. Fuel bladders from ADB Works were used just in case we ran out of fuel. Ergo fit handlebars from Kawasaki were also used to raise the handlebars by 20 millimeters and a windscreen from Puig.
BMC has been providing us air filters for all our machines, not only the H2 and the Tuno on this ride, but also back in India, all the machines, they almost have BMC air filters. And they have a lot of advantage if you want a more airflow, which means more power. And of course, you can also reuse those air filters, provided you regularly clean them. Here in Australia, you know, we've got so many open white spaces, and then you've got the heat. So I think good airflow is very important also to keep everything a little cool. Behind me is a 60 kilowatt turbine, and of course the propeller is here, not the full windmill, and something like that is also there in the H2, which is actually the impeller, which gives us the boost that we all love. The impeller actually revolves at insane RPMs, in fact around 1.2 times the RPM of the crankshaft, the tachometer that you see. So when you are at 10,000 RPM, it is approximately at 110,000 RPM. Can you imagine how much heat that generates? And Kawasaki has done an insane job in keeping that heat in check.
From using Inconel alloy to nifty engineering cramming a supercharger without an intercooler in such a small space. Thermal management is of prime importance. With With the supercharger apparatus, the Ninja H2 takes 35% more oil than standard liter class motorcycles for a total of almost 5 liters of full synthetic Castrol Power One Ultimate.
Oil is extremely important, especially when you are riding for unending straights like this. We were across Nullarbor. We did insane speeds. We did the iron, but we did 1700 kilometers almost in 14 hours, 15 hours in one single day. When we are crossing the Nullarbor and the deserts, we realize that how much our bodies need hydration. Same way, the oil inside our bikes needs to be rock solid, and that's what the full synthetic oil here does.
I also pulled off my 4th iron butt and my 2nd one on this very Ninja H2.
Oh, just look at that.
During this ride, when I rode from Nullarbor Roadhouse to the most isolated mega city on earth, Perth. 1650 kilometers in less than 15 hours of saddle time. The full video is also up on my Instagram and YouTube. The first iron butt was done in 2017 as a part of my 20,000 kilometers ride around Australia. But that was from Alice Springs till Darwin.
So we are in the town of Cobar here. This over here is a tree with soft toys. It's in the middle of nowhere, typical of Australia. And yes, the review is not over yet, like I said, because this bike in this ride has been mostly ridden by Manan, also known as Shattervedi. Over to you, Manan.
Well, as we grow, our toys grow, and our toy here is a Ninja H2, which is whoopingly fast. The entire riding experience with this, to be very honest, in one single word, was exhilarating. But when you have a 280 bhps with you, that experience is completely different. Those 280 bhps actually rushed the blood in my veins like anything. I have felt like a kid every time I have twisted the throttle. Lakhs of people, this is the dream to even come close to this bike. It is just like a dream coming true.
It has its drawbacks. You can't use the complete power, you have to be very careful. The bike is not exactly light, you know, especially with the bags. You can't crouch, you can't use the full top speed. This is the king. For me, at least in my lifetime, I don't think I'll be seeing a better motorcycle than this. But you never know, because there are rumors that there are electric superchargers being developed by BMW. There are rumors that there will be a turbocharged Hayabusa. Well, the Euro norms have put a brake on the development, on the war for speed, the war for power, and all of a sudden everyone is going gaga over electric bikes. Can any electric bike sound like this? I mean, crazy to think that any motorcycle can be so involving, can actually go down to your bone marrow.
Though the Ninja H2 is not meant for touring, but the feeling of going across a continent on the fastest motorcycle is unmatched and special. This answers both the why and the why not. Whatever motorcycle you choose, you can't go wrong when riding across Australia, as it will give you time and then some more to reach out to your inner self and question the meaning of life itself, as you realize how insignificant we are and how significant motorcycling is in our own universes inside our minds. Ride safe.